lot of donuts with no coffee. Folks, how you doing? Welcome back. It's Charlie. It is Monday afternoon now. January 17th, 2022. It is about 12:38 in the afternoon, just after. And as you can see behind me and by the opening, I am in downtown LA this morning. I did have plans to actually go somewhere else, but the rain has been very intermittent, and when I was gonna decide, it started pouring down. Came through Union Station, got to the other side, it stopped. Went back into the subway, it slowed down, and time was kind of critical. So I figured I'd just come down over here, because actually a member of another Facebook group had posted something, and I'm like, well, hell, I'm down here in LA, and I'll take a few pictures for my Facebook group, and I shall post to surprise her. Yeah, it's kind of questionable, but now it looks like it's probably going to break up, though we are kind of slated to maybe supposedly have some more rain coming down maybe this afternoon. I am now currently in Pershing Square, and it looks quite different. During the lockdown, actually, 2 years ago, behind me over here at Pershing Square, just exiting and entering the train station, we had about 2 Humvees. We had the National Guard here, the Army, dotted throughout the city, and it was quite the interesting scene. I had never experienced anything like that in my life, especially when you come up out of Pershing Square to be blasted with some young military folks and some Humvees. It was quite the different scene 2 years ago. It still feels a little questionable, if you know what I mean, but let me shut up and go further down here. Now, actually, there were a couple of things today. One that actually caught my attention in the news this morning on KTLA, and I will try to put the link down if I can remember, mind you. I am currently now on Broadway, going west from 5th Street, headed west. Now, this morning's news brought a whole bunch of revealing things, and I had actually completely forgotten, me being, because I've been housed. They once again actually made it illegal to be homeless, in the sense that they brought back the law, which was lifted 2 years ago, that allowed for quote unquote illegal encampment, or camping out in the public streets. So that's why throughout most of the last couple of years, you saw a lot of homeless folks dotted around here through the streets, especially here on Broadway. But the fact is that it struck a point when I was homeless in Pasadena. A couple of times I got ticketed for being, well, let me correctly say this. It was for illegal camping. It's not so much as being homeless. It's just that they make it illegal to camp out on the street. And a lot of us feel and say that they are making it illegal to be homeless. And when I used to say that when I was homeless, I had a lot of folks that would say, well, it doesn't seem right. Well, no, but it is directed at the homeless, because there would be no person in the right mind that has a job or a home or an okay lifestyle that would be seen sleeping out on the streets. So therefore, it's really aimed at a class of people, of citizens that don't have any of that, that are actually forced to live out on the streets. I mean, where else are they going to go? It's not like they can snap their fingers. So pretty much a lot of us in the homeless community say that it's directed to the homeless, and it is. And in my opinion and in my books, And in my heart and soul, it is a law against the homeless. So this morning, actually on my way down here on the Gold Line, just before the Lincoln Heights station, there had been a small group of folks that were camping. And they had a really nice setup, actually. I gotta admit, it was quite nice, a little bit envious, but yes, it did draw a lot of attention. And I saw a huge flatbed truck, the kind where you tow the cars on, with a couple of police officers talking to a gentleman and another person. And that's when I was quickly reminded, oh yeah, the law is in full swing today. And it started actually, I think it kind of started maybe this past weekend, just to get a jump start. But yeah, normally, I mean, even about a week ago, you could still see a lot of homeless folks, not too far actually away from Skid Row. But I want to walk a little bit more and check out what it's like. And yes, there are still some holiday decorations. They are slowly, throughout many cities actually, taking their time and removing those decorations. I mean, there's no hurry. So further as I walk my way down here, over my shoulder back there was someone in a doorway. And coming up on one over here behind me on my right. Oh, there it is over there. And there's a couple, but not nearly what it was like over here. I am coming up on Figueroa 7th Street. I used to work over here. Actually, the Sugarfish where I started is down over here just to the right of me. And here's my plan. I'm now standing in front of what used to be one of the centerpieces here in Los Angeles back when I was a kid in the early 70s. I am here at Clifton's Cafe. This is Clifton's Cafe. I remember, well, actually we had quite a few of these places all over the Southland, especially down here, but this is the most famous one of all. It is no longer a cafeteria. It is now some sort of, I don't know, shop or museum. I will put the link down below. But this place was really awesome. I especially remember this as a kid because as you walked in, the whole place had the velvet kind of wallpapering back that was it kind of reminded you of being in a ragtime saloon or an old cowboy saloon with red velvet wallpaper, an old-timey kind of establishment. But this was, you could eat here for practically nothing. I mean, you could have a full meal for $1, or if not less than $1. This place is just, oh my God, it just, so many memories. So many wonderful memories, actually. But let's see if we can get a closer look. You know, much of the city here, throughout a lot of the businesses, especially the entryways, had this kind of flooring. And I've talked about this kind of flooring. If ever I were to have a beautiful home, I would do it in Disney style. This is terrazzo. This is an Italian type of artwork and flooring, and it's pretty popular and quite expensive, actually, and hard to maintain. But anyway, this is Clifton's Cafe. It is now some sort of, wow, it is not what I remember it to be. Even from the window, walking by on the sidewalk, you couldn't help but just take a glance and look inside, and you would see the velvet wallpaper lined walls. It was just the most amazing thing, and it was quite an experience. Yeah, it is most certainly quite different. Look at all these beautiful buildings. Yeah. You know, there was kind of a little bit of chatter and a little bit of talk of probably reopening this, but I guess it took a whole new different direction. And with a lot of places like Lemonade and Urban Plates and those kind of restaurants where you go in and they serve you the food you just pick out, this is actually what originated. Lemonade and Urban Plates, this is the original kind of eatery places that we used to have here in Southern California, also in New York and places like Chicago. But cafeteria style type of dining was the way to go, especially if you had a family. This was always the way to do it. Actually down here now the scene changes as you kind of get closer to the Skid Row area and to the old Greyhound Bus Depot. The old Greyhound Bus Depot, if I'm not mistaken, is just down that away to the right. And there is another little fine old eatery too. I am just on the edge of the fashion district. All the districts are all around here. The fashion, the kind of the clothing type of district. This is Gallery Row as I am approaching. All right, this is Los Angeles and 7th. I am headed east. This over here is, yeah, I know, this is my lollipop. This here used to be what was once known as the Greyhound Depot. The upper level, I believe, was all for the buses. It was all pretty much exclusively Greyhound, with Trailways used to be the secondary competitor to Greyhound. And another one that I will try to remember to put a link down to. This place was a lot of fun. My mother and I used to constantly come here about maybe once a month on an average. This is where we used to catch our bus over here to go to Arizona. And this was, let me tell you, this was a fun place. If you were a kid, they used to have these little black and white TVs in a plastic molded looking type of seat with a kind of a sparkly blue iridescent. It kind of looked like something out of 2010, 2001 Space Odyssey. It was really neat. And I think back then it was only maybe a nickel or a dime. But anyway, the lower level and the lower level, I believe, was the ticketing with a conveyor lift going up to the top. And then that's where you got your buses to your destination. From here, you could go anywhere in the country. From here, you can go to the East Coast, Chicago, everywhere. This has long since been a defunct bus depot. There is a Greyhound Depot station way up over on the east side of town. It's considerably smaller and not in a very nice established area. This was closed for many, many years and has long since turned into kind of a, well, it is kind of like what you see now. A lot of clothing and a lot of type of mercantiles, because this is the fashion district, the garment district over in this area. So, and actually this is where, well, more towards the Skid Row area is where we used to go. And for the winter time, we used to spend about, on an average of $300+ in buying coats and jackets for the homeless. And right around Thanksgiving and Christmas time, and especially on New Year's Day morning, we would distribute jackets and coats for those that need it. And it wasn't just for homeless. We also actually would do events for the community and stuff like that. A lot of kids' jackets, because a lot of families couldn't afford, you know. It's kind of surprising, actually. Some clothing now is pretty affordable, but you know, a coat for a child is certainly more affordable than a coat for an adult. So yeah, this is God, this place just brings back so many wonderful memories. When my mom used to tell me that a few days to a week out that we were going to go visit my aunt and go to Arizona, I wasn't so much more excited to go to Arizona. Yes, I was, but actually I was more excited to run around like crazy and ask for a nickel or a dime to watch the TV. And this place was just fun. There was, as I said, the lower level was a ticketing level with a few eateries, and one in particular that I remember was Orange Julius. Oh, I remember Orange Julius. Here is another famous place right here. This is Kohl's, if I remember correctly. Is it? Yeah, Kohl's. This was another little fine eatery before you would get on the bus or even after getting off the bus, right here. This place. Their French dips here were just like awesome. I mean, just everything about this whole place right here. I will try to remember to put a link down here as well. But this is another little hidden gem. Back when I was a kid, there's just so many around here in downtown LA, especially up on Broadway was the main drag. But you can get anything, and let me tell you folks again, for less than $1, you could eat your heart out. Now, back when $1 was actually worth something, but you're lucky if you can get a hamburger. But this is Kohl's. Let's press on.